All right, let's talk Philadelphia Eagles offense playing against the Packers defense here. It should be a really interesting matchup. I already made a video talking about the other side of the ball, how the Jordan Love and the Packers could attack this really good Eagles defense. So check that out if you want. It is kind of made with the intention of you watching that one first and then watching this video, but you can watch them out of order as well. So decide what you want to do. But yeah, let's talk Jalen Hurts here, who I should probably start off this video by saying, as of recording this video, it has not yet been announced if he will play. I'm assuming he will. I'm kind of banking on that. Things could go very wrong if he does not, but I'm going to post this a couple days after I record it, so many things could change, but as of right now, that seems to be how I'm playing this. So yeah, let's get into the video. I will mention just real quick, I do have a movie channel. If you like watching movies, want to hear me talk about movies, you can check that out. The link is in the description below. Jackson Kruger Movies. I have like some movie reviews and fun stuff like that on there. So that's the kind of thing. Check it out. But yeah, let's talk Jalen Hurts. So I start off each of these videos by using PFF Grades just to try and get an idea of what these teams are. I think it's kind of a fun way to measure, each positional category and things like that. I don't know what the Eagles did to the PFF graders, but PFF graders have not been impressed with a couple things. We're going to talk about it. So the passing game, PFF says that they have the 24th ranked passing. That's not not all of Jalen Hurts' plays, just when he throws the football. And also it's worth mentioning, it's not just Jalen Hurts. Some other quarterbacks have thrown the football. Hurts is 20th graded quarterback out of 44 eligible, but the team as a whole is 24th. Receiving's been better. It's been 11th best. Obviously, a huge part of that is the top two guys with Smith and A.J. Brown. Pass blocking's also been very good at 6th best. The Packers cover well. They rush the passer okay. They're actually middle of the pack in rushing the passer, but they cover well enough usually to still get some pressure with that. Again, though, against this really good Eagles pass blocking unit, will it be enough? That's going to be the question. The running game is just, I don't know what's going on here. Saquon Barkley only gets them to the 10th ranked rushing unit. I put an asterisk on it just because, that doesn't feel right. They are first in rush EPA on the season, so they run block well, 6th best. I don't know what's going on there, but let's just be honest. The rushing attack is a huge part of the Eagles game. They're very good at it. Packers aren't great at stopping the run. 24th ranked there, so definitely have some opportunity to run the ball in this game if you're the Eagles. I wanted to check out Jalen Hurts' blitzing statistics because the Packers basically don't blitz. They blitz 3rd least in the league this year. However, Hurts' numbers are basically the same whether he's blitzed or not blitzed. He's slightly better not blitzed, so I guess that's a benefit. But these are just Jalen Hurts' numbers, roughly the same. So, while it could be a matchup advantage or disadvantage for some teams, here doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. However, when we separate some receivers man versus zone stuff, this is where things get really interesting. For one thing, it's the big three for the Eagles in terms of their receivers, right? A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert really are the three guys they look at. A.J. Brown is just ridiculous. If you look at the stats I have are PFF grade versus man, yards per route ran versus man, and then PFF grade and yards per route ran against zone. You see A.J. Brown's 4.27 yards per route ran against man coverage. That's just impossible. If it's over 3, that's amazing. So over 4, that's like batting 400 in baseball. It's it just doesn't happen. So the fact that he's doing that is ridiculous. Still really good against zone, as are Smith and Goddard. Smith is kind of the one guy who gets significantly better against zone, although he's still really good against man. He can win his one-on-one matchups there. And then Goddard is another guy who just crushes man coverage. If you put a linebacker on him, then he'll run by that linebacker. If you put a safety on him, he'll overpower the safeties. So not a lot of guys can compete with that. And again, they have many guys who can win against zone. Kenneth Gainwell over a yard per route ran in that situation. Saquon Barkley doesn't do a ton. I spoke too quickly. Saquon Barkley doesn't do a ton against zone, but is better against man. And then Grant Calcaterra, who does nothing against man, but is actually pretty good against zone, interestingly enough. So, those are kind of the pieces and what's to watch out for. So for the Packers, who play a lot of zone coverage, it might be those right numbers that you're looking at. Let's look at some numbers from the first time these two teams played. They played back in week 1. There's not a ton we can really use in that. I am going to use some film from that game to talk about this a little bit more, but really, I mean, as of right now, we'll get into what matters from that game and what doesn't. Still worth talking about, though. It was a weird game where neither quarterback played great in that game, but both offenses as a whole did. A.J. Brown was a monster, over 100 yards. Devonta Smith also had 84 yards. And that was mostly it. Goddard had 31 yards. Saquon Barkley had a nice touchdown catch. But for the most part, it was the two top guys for the Eagles, Brown and Smith. As for the rushing, Saquon Barkley obviously has been so good this season. Had a pair of touchdowns, had over 100 yards in this game. Although it wasn't like otherworldly either, right? 4.5 yards per carry. We've seen him do better than that in certain games. He was an effective player. He did not take the game over either, with exception of on specific spots. So yeah, and we'll get into a little bit more of that. Let's get into the film and kind of dive a little bit deeper into some of the things that I've touched upon already in this video. So first, let's go over to this play. So what's going to happen here is it's going to be a man coverage play. I brought up that the Packers do like to play a decent amount of zone, but especially on like third down shorts or just third downs in general, they will try and play some man. I don't think they should do this much in this game. So you see, it's Jair Alexander on this play going up one-on-one against A.J. Brown. Here's the thing. Jair Alexander is a good corner. Nobody can beat A.J. Brown one-on-one. Watch, they even had a safety kind of over the top, but he wins that so quickly, he's able to get the first down. The Packers were also offside, so that didn't help. But, I mean, A.J. Brown's just so good. Like I said, over 4 yards per route ran against man coverage. Like, if you're playing man coverage, there needs to be 2 bodies on Brown, and that might not even be enough. So that's an issue that you have. Not just that, but as I mentioned, Jair Alexander, the guy who was on A.J. Brown, a good corner, he's injured. He's on IR. He will not be playing in this football game. So you don't even get Jair Alexander, who is your best corner in this situation. So you definitely need to be concerned about if you're playing man coverage. And if you're the Eagles and you get man coverage, the ball needs to go in A.J. Brown's direction. It just does. So that means you got to play a lot of zone coverage, right? So you got to have a lot of stuff like this. Cover 3 zone. That's what I'm going to expect the Packers to be doing a ton in this game. They might not play man coverage at all. They might just be in zone this whole game. The issue is, as I mentioned, well, A.J. Brown does kind of get limited when you play zone coverage. Now you're opening the door for someone like Devonta Smith. When this play begins, that concept is a good zone beater to just get Smith open 5 yards down the field, right? It's nothing crazy. Hey, this is better than giving up an A.J. Brown 50-yard touchdown, right? However, Hurts hits Smith, and Smith's good enough in open space. He makes a move and picks up the first down. Does take a big hit, but, the Eagles will take that in a playoff game. So this is another, this is kind of the issue. It's a pick your poison situation. The poison I would pick is zone coverage, because you are at least limiting Dallas Goedert. You're limiting A.J. Brown, but those 2 guys and Smith will all be really good, and you can even get some other guys coming in and making plays. So it's a pick your poison, but that is probably the poison you pick. And the reasoning is maybe you get something like this. So this is a third down and 15 situation. It's a cover 2 zone. You see the route on the screen. Hurts is going to take the snap, looks down the field, and as of right here, I really don't know why he decided to make this throw. You see that Smith is not really open. I mean, I guess the linebacker is on him. That's a mismatch. Linebacker can't play the ball, all that good stuff. But still seems like with two safeties deep who really have no one paying attention to them, probably not a throw he should make here. As you see, he decides to make it anyway. It gets intercepted. Can't be doing that. You get more turnovers when you play zone. You get tighter windows. Hurts has been on the higher side of turnover-worthy plays this season. He's thrown 17th most turnover-worthy plays out of 44 eligible players. So nothing crazy, but like he will put the ball in harm's way at times. You might have to get a turnover or 2 to stop this Eagles passing attack, which is never ideal, but it might be what you have to do. I also find the running game super fascinating here between these 2 teams. So I want you to pay attention to this matchup right here. It's Quay Walker, the guy I'm going to talk about. Weirdly, how I've highlighted multiple Packers players who might not be playing in this game. Alexander won't be playing. Walker hasn't been announced as of recording this video if he'll play in wildcard weekend or not. But it's the mindset the Packers do. The Packers do this all season. They have linebackers who do what Walker is going to do here. as you see, Quay Walker is going to just try and shoot a gap and see if he can get to Saquon Barkley. The Packers will do this a lot, where they don't just kind of sit back and let you come to them. They'll try and make a play, which could make some sense, right? If it's 1st and 10, you get Barkley to lose a yard. Well, okay, now it's 2nd and 11, and now you've put the Eagles in obvious passing situations. The issue, it's just a dangerous game when you do that against someone like Barkley, who can see the field so well. He reads the play, gets through another gap, and also moves so quickly, he's able to get a touchdown there. So it should be interesting. I do think that you could get some stops on 1st down. You also could be giving up some plays like this. And it also means, hey, you got to trust your safeties to make the tackle, because that doesn't always work out that way. And the last thing you want is you try and get a stop on 1st down and instead give up a 50-yard touchdown. So in conclusion, where am I at with these two teams? If you can't tell, I am leaning on, honestly, both offenses having a good day, but I do think that Packers defense could struggle. They have some injuries, specifically the Jair Alexander injury, and just the Eagles offense is just such a machine, right? There is no weakness. The only thing you can hope for is, PFF hasn't been super impressed with Hurts. Could you get some bad quarterback play? But it kind of feels like they're going to have to win the turnover battle if they're going to win this game. And last time these two teams played, they won the turnover battle 3-1, but they still lost the game. So you might have to repeat that and do a little bit more this time. Although again, a ton has changed. So where am I at? What are my final predictions here? Well, you see the Eagles' offensive points per drive on the year is 2.72, which is very good. The Packers have a very good defensive points per drive on the year of 1.84. I just don't love this matchup. The first time they played, it was a 3.09 points per drive performance by the Eagles, and I'm expecting something similar, a 3.1. I just feel like the Packers don't have a lot of ways they can go. I think are limited in the secondary, and I think that's kind of been a bit of an issue is corner depth. They've been very good when healthy, but losing a guy like Alexander, I just think that might be too much to overcome in this game, and I think the Eagles should be able to run the ball. So what is my final score prediction? I'm going Eagles 31, Packers 25. This would be a 10-possession game, so those are my points per possession guesses there. Still a one-score game. I think the Packers could flip things if they can win the turnover battle. I am not looking at this as a game that the Eagles will just cakewalk their way to a victory. I'm really not. I do think the Eagles ultimately win, though. I think they should be favorites. So we'll see what happens. Again, playoffs, anything can happen, but those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.